Hello, guys. Nice to meet you. Have fun.
Thanks, Andre. Hey, Claire.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How you doing? All good?
Yeah, good thanks. Where are you based?
I'm based in Barcelona, Spain, but today in Italy, the Dolomites. What about yourself?
Oh, very nice. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, so a lot less
Oh,
exciting.
very cool, very cool. My girlfriend's actually from Toronto, so
Oh,
we've
nice.
we've always wanted to go down to Vancouver.
Yeah, yeah. You haven't been yet?
Mm-mm. Nope, never
No.
been there. But
Definitely
I've
worth
heard
a
it.
visit. Check out Whistler if you go.
Check out where?
Whistler.
Whistler.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. I've heard Vancouver's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good if you like nature.
Listen, is it cold at the moment?
Yeah, it's fall, so it's like 10 degrees each day.
Oh, okay. It's kind of the same temperature where we are in the Dolomites. So,
Yeah, okay. Not
yeah,
too bad then. Could be
not
worse.
too bad. Not too bad. I actually like Canada when it's like snowy and like January, December. It's
Yeah.
nice. Like.
It's good as long as you're not commuting anywhere. Otherwise, it's such a disaster. Because I think, people in other parts of Canada are used to the snow, but from Vancouver, we've only been starting to get more snow the last couple of years, so
Oh,
whenever it snows here, there's just accidents everywhere and
interesting.
people lose their mind.
Wow, that's wild. I would not have thought that. Yeah, I would have thought you guys are really well equipped for the snow, right?
But we should
Um,
be.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably tell from my accent, I'm British, half British, lived in
Yeah.
the UK a long time, and in the UK, when it rains or snows a little bit, it's like disaster, like God forbid if we ever get a hurricane or anything serious. But like and it's every year, like sometimes the train's chaos because leaves on the train. You're just like,
Yeah.
come on, guys, we've had this before. But
It's so disappointing.
yeah, but anyway, shall we give it maybe like a couple of minutes and then we'll get started? I think we've got a couple of people joining in as we'll chat and yeah, does that sound okay for you?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let me just get up the questions. I think we're recording this, aren't we? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Okay, cool. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Okay, cool. So some people will listen in live, some people will tune in. So okie dokie, some people will listen to the recording. So folks, if you're tuning in, welcome to this AMA with myself and Claire. We're going to be talking about space time with Claire Rennie from KOLZ, the future of KOLs and AI. Very quick intros before we get started. I'm Mike G, founder of the Web3 Growth Hub. We help to scale and grow Web3 projects by helping them with grant funding and also with revenue partnerships. So, really looking forward to this conversation. Claire, perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you guys are building at KOLZ.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us today. I'm Claire. I'm leading the team at KOLZ. At KOLZ, we create AI agents for individuals, brands, and KOLs to do automated social media posting. So for individuals and brands, it's like having a personal social media manager that posts in the exact tone and voice as the creator. And for KOLs, it can create passive income while projects can save up to 80% compared to traditional KOL fees because it's fully automated.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. My next question was going to be why would someone want to have that? I think you were kind of touching in on that, right? But I mean, it sounds like there's so much opportunity. I mean, do you notice why some of the creators look to have the AI agent? Like, what are they looking to replicate? What is the opportunity for them?
Yeah, I think kind of our ideal customer would be someone who's a founder that just launched a recent startup. So I think a lot of people can relate, like if you're founding a project or C-level, any sort of kind of big job that your time is very precious. You don't want to be spending it posting on social media. But a lot of people are realizing the impact of social media, having that personal brand along with your project's brand is so important these days. Kind of adding that layer of legitimacy, obviously building your community, building that layer of trust, connecting with your audience. So I really think it's valuable for people like founders who want to build their own personal brand and then they're
Mhm.
also using it for their projects accounts. If maybe they can't afford to have a full-time social media manager yet, it's perfect for that, along with projects that are even huge and have hundreds of thousands of followers and a full-time social media manager, but are just looking for new, exciting, kind of fresh content to add to it. I think it's also great for someone like that because our agents can be posting up to every hour. And I think
Wow.
we're kind of in a space where a lot of projects want to just be having more and more content out with the opportunity to have maybe one in every like daily post have the
Yeah.
possibility of trending.
That's very cool. That's very cool because there's this concept. It's funny, with what we do, we see projects, and it's so true what you're saying, Claire. The projects are starting to realize that the owner needs a bit of a personal brand, or the
Mhm.
project needs to be building that brand as well, right? And without that brand, I mean, you could have the most amazing product, the most amazing service, but if no one knows about you, then raising capital is very hard, getting customers is very hard. Actually, just doing much is actually very difficult, right? So that's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, we've obviously seen a huge growth of AI agents in the last few months. I guess from your perspective and from what you see in the market, what makes the KOLZ AI agents different from all the other ones popping up?
Yeah, there are a ton right now. I think AI agents, and then a lot of people, when they think AI agents, they're also thinking bots. So we're really trying to differentiate ourselves that we aren't the bots. We
Mm,
aren't kind of those scammy clear AI posts that we see on the Twitter feed
mm,
all the time. We
yeah.
are really differentiating ourselves to really be specifically built around the creator, whether that's an individual or a brand or a KOL. So our agents should look and sound exactly like who they're meant to represent. So we
Mm,
spend a long time kind of learning how that individual speaks,
mm,
keywords they use, how they format their posts, and we've tested it by saying to an audience group, saying which one of these is AI and which one is the real person, and they can
wow.
never tell the difference. So I think that's
Wow.
really what differentiates us between the other AI agents is we're trying to look exactly like we're not AI.
That's wild. That's wild. So you put the AI agent in the room of like people trying to assess what's real, what's AI, and
Yeah,
they can't even identify the AI. That that's pretty scary. No, I'm joking. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's very
it's
good.
a
I
scary but
mean,
exciting world.
yeah, that's what I was going to say, right? It's scary but exciting. I remember when kind of I remember when, gosh, we all remember when AI first kind of popped up and started becoming mainstream, and you could start to tell the difference of photos, right?
Mhm.
And now you kind of some photos you can still tell, but some photos they're really it's
It's
really
scary.
it's a different ball game, right? I mean, listen, you kind of talked a little bit there. You were saying how you guys put the AI agents in a situation and you try to identify what's AI, what's human. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about how you train the agent so it sounds like, the real person, keeps it authentic? Because I think that's a huge part of building the brand online, right? It needs to be
Mhm.
authentic. It needs to connect with whoever the AI agent is trying to represent. So yeah, I mean, don't give away all your secret sauce, but how do you guys train the agents?
Yeah, absolutely. It's we do a pretty big deep dive into everyone's background. So
Mm,
if it's a founder, then we would ask if they've been on any sort of podcasts, interviews, X spaces, if they have any articles written about them that they're quoted. And then we essentially download all that information, the transcripts, and that really helps kind of build their tone of voice. So the system that we use analyzes the keywords that they use, how they start their sentences, how they introduce themselves. And then along with that, we would download a lot of their posting history so we can see if they're using things like emojis, what emojis they use, if they have line breaks in between their sentences, if they
mm,
write more short form tweets, long form tweets. So it's kind of a combination of learning their specific language through ideally things like podcasts, plus their posting style by downloading their tweet history and any other kind of writing formats that they've done. And then from there, we add in different levels of safeguards. So we ask everyone when they first get on boarded with us, is there anything you don't want your agent posting about? Is there anything you're not
mm,
comfortable with? So that we can kind of make sure that we never get into any dangerous territory because some people say no, anything is fine. They want the more controversial the better. And then
mm.
some people, especially the brands, want to be a little bit more cautious, making sure they're not getting into those controversial or maybe political topics. So, yeah, we
Yeah.
try to make everyone kind of feel comfortable by putting
Yeah,
that
that
system
could
in
that could be an
place.
interesting one, right? The AI agent posts something and you're like, oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, you don't wanna
uh,
see that and be horrified.
yeah, you're like delete, delete, but by then someone's already taken a
It's too
screenshot,
late.
you know, gone viral, right?
Yeah.
No, I get that. That's very cool. That's very cool. I mean, obviously, you can see kind of the opportunity, or I think AI is playing such a big role in Web3, the Web3 ecosystem. Why did you choose to build KOLZ for Web3 specifically?
Yeah, like you said, I think Web3 and AI is going really closely together right now. We kind of took a look at the team that was ready to build it. They all have strong Web3 backgrounds, lots of
Mm,
connections. Yeah, I think the platform we also wanted to focus on first was X, which
hmm
feels like the space for Web3, whereas more Web2 projects I think are focused on things like Instagram or TikTok. So I think Web3 kind of just brings a lot of opportunity. People are generally open to working with AI. I think if they're
mm,
in the Web3 space already and just
yeah.
trying out new projects that can save them time. I think it's also a great way for people to do things like a token launch or a campaign. Again, if they're kind of like a smaller project starting up, it's a perfect way for them to save money on someone like a social media manager, but really get their voice out there and their project's purpose.
hmm
And then if they're looking also to work with KOLs in the space, I think specifically, well, generally influencers and KOLs are extremely expensive, as we all know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think this is kind of a great way for people and projects to be able to work with KOLs for the first time that are finally within their budget and not really breaking their bank.
That's great. That's great because I mean it makes the playing field so much equal, but also such a great opportunity
Yeah,
for, like you're saying, smaller founders, but also more established people to kind of use the technology, right? And that's very cool. That's very
yeah.
cool. I mean, listen, you mentioned a little bit like on the token launch there. I'm kind of curious just from the perspective of projects we work with, and I mean, are you able to give us a little bit of insights in terms of how let's say because a lot of projects are going through token launches, right? Maybe even people
Mhm.
are tuning in that they're thinking of token launches. But how would it benefit them having KOL's AI agent through that token launch?
I think it's perfect just to kind of add more additional content, get your voice out there, get like the advertisement of the token, but then
Yeah.
specifically working with the KOLs around the token, I think we've all seen that be really helpful for projects. So usually if a project's starting out, we have quite a few that have literally started from zero followers and we'll help them
Mm,
with different growth engagement packages as well. So
mm-hmm,
we kind of hit it in three different areas where we're able to automate their content so
mm,
they can essentially set up the account and step back, focus on their project, focus on their token launch. And then we
yeah.
can also add engagement to their posts. We can add followers to their posts. And then when they're ready to actually do the token launch, then we can also engage our KOLs to help promote it from their side as well. So overall, it's just kind of an easier way for them to launch their accounts, push the token launch, and then get more attention with it with the KOL as well. Also, obviously, saving money with it being kind of AI focused along the way.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. So basically, by using the AI agent, they can kind of, it's almost like having the team, right? The team is without having a full team, right? It's almost like
Yeah,
having a team that can manage big parts of the process, right? Because that daily posting, that daily management of the KOLs, that daily management of the campaign, that's a task in its own, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
so if they don't need to be doing that, they can focus on other parts of the project they need to be doing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's very cool. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Listen, tell us. I mean, in terms of KOLs, what is the future for you guys? You're obviously building in the Web3 space. Are you doing any future integrations? Are you going through investment rounds or partnerships? Like, what's next for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting future. We're in a big growth phase right now where we just hit 100 agents currently onboarded. So those are
Woo!
those are either individuals like founders, C-levels, content creators, or larger KOLs are using it as well in projects. So we're excited to work with more and more projects and get to know them. We are going to be doing a seed round to raise some money for further development. So we're currently preparing for that. And then in terms of kind of integrations and development, we are also going to be looking at adding an image and video generation feature or some sort of integration for it. So that will be huge for us because that will let us move onto more platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram if we're able to
Mm,
develop a really strong feature for it where it doesn't look AI like, which will definitely be the challenge. Like you were saying with pictures, sometimes you can still tell it's AI if you really take a close look. So
yeah,
it's gotta be a pretty strong integration to make sure we're ready to go with that, but that's what's next for us, so we'll do the raise and then add more features and expand to more platforms.
that's very cool. Listen, congratulations on your 100 agents.
Thanks.
That's very cool. That's very cool. And the what was I going to say? It'll be very cool when we start seeing the AI agents on TikTok, huh? Because
Yeah.
the we see. I mean, I'm sure you guys see this as well. But the different types of communities, audience, traffic, and for example, X, TikTok, Instagram.
Mm.
But I think with TikTok, you start launching AI agents there. It could really things could really get very very exciting.
Yeah, I think it would exciting, scary, interesting for sure. I think
Yeah,
it
I was
would
going to
be
say
a weird
unhinged,
world.
but
We're being
things
polite.
could go right. That'll be a fascinating one. That'll be a fascinating one. I mean, let's talk a little bit about that. How big do you think this space can get? I mean, with the growth of AI, we're talking. I mean, I assume what you're saying because at the moment you guys are replicating someone's text language, right? But what
Mhm.
we're talking about maybe with Instagram or TikTok is replicating how they look like, how they talk, how they move. I mean, how big do you think the space can get, and what's the long term vision for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to look at because as far as, like, the limits go or how big we can get, I really don't think there is a limit to how big it can get. I think it's just how we're able to scale it, kind of how we're able to process it along the way and make sure we're scaling at the right time, right speed. But I think for, currently what we're doing, at least with Web3 projects, we aren't necessarily focused on specific projects to work with. We're kind of open to anyone, like I was
Mm,
saying before, whether it's founders, individuals. It could even just be an average person with 500 followers that's looking to just get more content, maybe get their name out there. Or it could be a huge project, small project. I think in that sense, it's really nice for us. And whenever we go to any of the crypto conferences, then we're really open to chatting with anyone and meeting anyone. And we found it so applicable to such a range of people and projects. And
mm,
then in terms of the video and image generation, then I think it'll also help us move more into the Web 2 space because if we're able to go on the channels like Instagram and TikTok, I think there's a lot of Web 2 companies, especially ones that maybe don't have access to the kind of technology that we do, that would be interested in just automating some of their content. Maybe advertisements on there. Like we all know, TikTok is such a great place for advertisements, especially for the younger generation. So I
yeah,
can definitely see us kind of move in that direction as well. Once we have the platforms kind of up to speed, then I think we'll be able to see pretty clearly what our market is there and then who to go after.
yeah. No, super cool. I mean, listen, tell us something, right? If someone, you guys have just reached your hundred mark, right? You've just got your
Mhm.
100 agents, which is a huge milestone, and the next milestone is 1,000. But for people listening in, I mean, how do they? Let's say they go, wow, I'd like to start my own agent. How could they get started with calls?
Yeah, it's super easy and quick to get started. So they can either send myself a DM or go to the chat KOLZ page, send us a DM there, and then essentially we just ask them a few questions to get started. We would take a look at their current pages to develop the agent's tone of voice and knowledge, like we were talking about. Only takes them a couple minutes to set up, and then it would take us about a day with our devs on the back end to hook everything up. And then they have a free 2-week trial to play around with it. So our whole concept is we wanna make sure everyone feels comfortable with it, likes the content that's going out, and then at the end of 2 weeks, we see if they want to officially sign up or not. If they do, it's $200 a month or 2,000 for the year for each account, and then we offer different discounts if someone wants to link multiple accounts, like the founders' accounts and the startups' accounts. We've gotten really good feedback on the price so far as well as the product. I think people are really happy with the price point, especially if they're kind of saving that money on the social media manager, and great feedback on the content as well. We have a lot of people using it right now to be posting about things like the live price of Bitcoin or current crypto news because we're able to add live time fetchers into the post as well. So we
Mm,
can prompt the AI to say something like post about the top crypto story today or post about what ETH is doing this week. So I think a lot of people are kind of seeing the advantage of that and how that content can get trending as well if they're able to kind of be the first to post about it. So yeah, really great feedback so far. Super quick, easy to get started. Feel free to just send me a DM and I'd be happy to get you started.
Beautiful, beautiful. That sounds fantastic, Claire. Well, listen, look, before we wrap up, I think we're coming towards the end of the AMA. I mean, you're obviously building, you're building well an empire, right? You've got your first 100. You're going to scale from here. You're going to expand into different markets. It's obviously such an adventure. I actually, it's funny. I was thinking while you were talking about this, I'd love to have you on my podcast sharing the story of KOLZ as well, because it's so exciting what you guys are building. But I think for other people perhaps tuning in, we probably have some founders maybe listening. We have some, KOLs who are building their own business listening. Leave us maybe with two things, right? And I know I'm throwing this at you, so take your time. Either one, maybe your favorite quotes that inspires you for the audience, or two, maybe a piece of advice for builders, right? For other CEOs, for other people building their projects. I personally always like this one as well. So it can be either your favorite quote or perhaps just some advice for other fellow entrepreneurs tuning in as well.
Yeah, thank you. And I would absolutely love to come on your podcast. Thank you for the invite. I think as far as advice for other founders, it would be don't be afraid to ask for help. I think a lot of people in the Web3 space are so kind and so helpful. Get to know others. I think going to crypto conferences are such a great way to get to know others and really build those valuable relationships. I know a lot of people look at my page when I do a cold reach out and right away think I'm a scammer, which is fine. But I really have found that it goes a long way to meet people in person, to show them I'm a real person, that I'm trustworthy, and kind of build those real human connections makes all the difference. And then as far as a quote goes, someone was saying to me the other week when we were talking about public speaking, actually, I was getting ready to do my first pitch competition, and he said public speaking isn't about confidence like everyone thinks it is, but it's just about having the courage to do so. And I feel like that's applicable to a lot of areas, especially if you're launching a new business. It's not necessarily having the confidence to launch your business or putting your name out there, putting your face out there, but it's just having the courage to do so, and being open to ask for help when you need it and rely on others. People want to help, and help others along the way too.
That's beautiful, Claire. That's beautiful. And listen, big up to yourself on the startup pitch competition as well, right? I know that that can be quite a scary moment as well.
Yeah.
But congratulations on that. Very, very cool.
Thanks.
Very, very cool. Now listen, I really enjoyed the conversation, folks. Please connect with Claire. Claire, would you mind just before we wrap up, so that people tuning in on the recording, would you mind just sharing your X handle just so everybody knows? And then we'll wrap up, folks. And as Claire was saying, it's not about it's not just about confidence. It's also about having the courage to just go give it a shot, get started, and get your journey rolling. But before we wrap up, Claire, if you could just share your X, and then folks, we wish you a pleasant evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. My handle is Claire J Rennie, CLAIREJRENNIE, and then the KOLZ handle is ChatKOLZ, CHATKOLZ. Feel free to send us a DM. We would love to chat with you. We're also always open to new partnerships or collaborations. But thanks again, Mike, for chatting. It was great. And thanks, Andre, for hosting.
Beautiful, beautiful. Have a nice evening, folks. Speak soon. Bye now.
Bye.